you know what time it is, man. It's time to talk about the bowl, man. It's looking like I can't even get the flag fully. I'm gonna have to just throw it on. Forget it, man. I got to, Joe. I got to, man. We gotta talk about the Super Bowl, Joe. The birds is in it, right? We got some questions to answer today, man. Obviously, we know it is the Philadelphia Eagles against the Kansas City Chiefs. And a lot of questions have been out there. But a question I have for you, Joe, and I have the answer to the question, because I know how this game will be decided, Joe. But the question I have for you, and I'm hoping you have maybe a similar answer, maybe not, but a similar answer. Joe, what or who will decide the outcome of the Super Bowl this year?
I got like a two answer to this.
Mm,
First, the defense.
mm,
That's important. I look at all three games from the Eagles, all three games from the Chiefs. You look at the Eagles, obviously, the defense. The defense forcing turnovers, giving the offense extra possessions, playing like the offense playing with a lead the whole game. The defense, right, for the Eagles. We know that. Number one defense, too. They've been leaning on their defense all year. The Chiefs, you look at the Texas game. CJ Stroud, move the ball. They ain't turn the ball over. They'll move the ball downfield, and what happens? They stall out. They don't get in the end zone. Move the ball downfield, they stall out, don't get in the end zone. You look at the Bills. The Bills were scoring. But when it came for them to get a stop, who made the stop? The defense. And they gave their quarterback the ball to close the game out. And who's going to determine the game? For the Eagles, it's Saquon Barkley. And it's no shade to Hurts, but it's going to be Saquon Barkley, right? And we all know for the Chiefs, if the Chiefs win, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Like Patrick Mahomes is going to be that guy. We talked about this off air. I think on air too. He's a guy that if you're going to beat him, you got to do it. You can't like hope that he's going to not do it. You got to make sure you put a nail in the coffin. If you Josh Allen in that situation, you got the ball. So if Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley in the office got the ball in a situation when they can go down and score, don't leave no time on the clock. I don't care if it's 13 seconds. Don't leave no time on the clock. Put the nail in the coffin and score a touchdown or a field goal if it's going to win the game, and don't give him the ball. But if Mahomes got the ball at the end of the game, or if it's a close game, because he won every game this year when it was less than one possession.
mm-hmm.
So if it's close, Mahomes will be the reason why the Super Bowl will be a victory to the Chiefs. So I'm going with that.
One thing I want to dispel this episode, maybe within this first topic. I brought it up last episode. I'll bring it up again now. Joe, I'm sick and tired of hearing people say, you got to be perfect to beat the Chiefs. That is not the case. You do not have to play perfect ball to beat the Chiefs. The 49ers are in position to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year. They did not play perfect ball. But what did it come down to, Joe? A 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 in their red zone. Brock Purdy has to get the ball out to his receiver wide open, but he can't because Spags brings a corner blitz that gets to him before he can get the ball out. They settle for a field goal. The game goes into overtime. Patrick Mahomes finds a way to get the job done. In the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl against the Chiefs a few years ago, the Philadelphia Eagles did not play a perfect game. But at the end of the day, what did it come down to, Joe? A last-second drive by Patrick Mahomes to get them in field goal range to kick a game-winning field goal. If you go back and you think about the Super Bowl against the 49ers, Joe, the score was like 10-20 in the fourth to start the fourth. These boys go on a crazy run to end the game and beat the 49ers to get their first Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not trying to hear that you got to play perfect football to beat the Chiefs. That's not what you got to do. What you have to do is execute with the money on the line. They are the absolute best at executing both offensively and defensively with the money on the line. You know, Spags got to play for the defense that's going to make something happen, or at least put them in position. With the money on the line, we know Patrick Mahomes has something in mind, whether he's running the ball or getting the ball to Kelsey or one of these other playmakers that's going to get them a first down, extend a drive, or score a touchdown. With the money on the line, we know Andy Reid is going to draw up the perfect play for those guys to execute. But everything in the middle before that, it's all kind of mistakes made from the Chiefs and the other teams. So you don't have to play perfect. And that leads me to this ultimate answer. I'm going to shock you, Joe. You know who going to determine the outcome of the Super Bowl? Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is going to determine the outcome of the Super Bowl. because I believe that our defensive coordinator in 2022 determined the outcome of the Super Bowl. And that's no shade at the Chiefs. It's no shade at the Chiefs whatsoever. They won the game. They got a big time special teams return at one point to put them in the red zone. They were in the corn dog play twice on us and got a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes moved the ball up and down field. They got everything they wanted against us. In the first half, we played spectacular. In the second half, you could see the difference between the coaches. Our defensive coordinator, Gannon, just was not ready for what the Chiefs had in the second half. And we couldn't get, all we needed was one stop the whole half. Just one. And the Eagles more than likely win that football game. One complaint that we heard from Philadelphia Eagles players after that game, coach didn't even put us in position to make plays. That's how they felt. Their play calling was so bad, they weren't even put in position to make plays. There's a stat out right now about Vic Fangio against Patrick Mahomes. They say Vic Fangio is 0-8 versus Patrick Mahomes. 0-8. And I've been seeing this stat everywhere. And I'm like, yo, like, let me look into this stat, bro, because this is a crazy stat. How you 0-8 versus Pat? So I'm going to look. I want to get the context behind it. Joe, do you know in them games, he was the coach of the Broncos, or at least defensive coordinator, and the coach of the Dolphins. You know, in those games, they scored offensively between the two teams, the Broncos and the Dolphins. 6 points one game, 3 points another game, 16 another game, 16 a game after that, 9 points one game, 24 points another game, 14 points, and 7 points after that. Offense wasn't giving you nothing besides the game where they scored 24. Offense wasn't giving you nothing in these games. And on top of that, the Chiefs scored 6 defensive or special team touchdowns in those games, bro. So not only was your offense not putting up any numbers, but the defense also was scoring. Special teams was also scoring, making it tough. Do you know Vic Fangio, going off of the same numbers, bro? Vic Fangio against Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs averaged 21.6 points a game, bro. On average. So I got to say this. Vic Fangio, if you put us in position, that's all I ask. Put us in position to get crucial stops, because I trust the personnel in ways that I'm not even sure I trust the personnel in 2022. I trust the defensive personnel from the defensive line, the linebackers, the safeties, the corners. I trust them. Good play calling. Put them in position to get crucial stops. Put them in position to force turnovers. That is all I ask. Give the offense an opportunity to win this game. Mm-hmm. Keep them around 21 to 23 points. Give us an opportunity to win this game. Because I promise you, if they're kept within that range, Eagles gonna win this game. Eagles gonna win. If you limit them to 21 to 23 points, Eagles gonna win this game. And that's honestly how I feel, because I feel like Jalen Hurts with the money on the line, Saquon, AJ, this personnel on offense, when they need to, they will make the plays to win the game. I believe that. They will run the clock down if they need to win the game. But the defense, starting with Vic Fangio, the play calling got to be on point. And the last thing I'll say on this topic really quick is this. People forget, Vic Fangio can help us on both sides of the ball. He's got all of this tape on them defensively and offensively. People forget Vic Fangio helped us game plan for the offense in 2022, not the defense. He did not help our defense. He helped our offense game plan against Spags in the Super Bowl, and we dropped 35 points. Now, in this game, you can do the same thing. You know Spags. If anybody knows him, it's Vic Fangio. And that experience going into halftime, this is what I would do. This is what I believe they will do. I think that hurt us so much in 2022. We had a really young coaching staff. Nick Sirianni was still young at the time, and so was Gannon. He was a first or second year defensive coordinator, and they ran circles around us in the second half. I think the experience of Vic Fangio and his play calling is going to determine this game.
Okay. All right. It's going to be